this is the race we've all been waiting for.
Oh, well, it is, Greg, and it's great to have Swayzee back. He was dominant last year. I think the field's a little bit stronger than it was last year. We've got Merlin, we've got Don't Stop Dreaming, and we've got Better Eclipse. We've got the big four here, Greg, and I'm really looking forward to this contest.
Gee, wasn't it a roller coaster, though, in the build-up to this, because we were hoping that the champion leap to fame would be here, and obviously falling over at the 11th hour with those blood tests, not keeping him up to the level that Grant Dixon would have hoped. But I guess the other twist in the tail was that Swayzee, who was never coming, decided to come at the 11th hour. And that's the big question mark, gentlemen, ahead of this. Yes, he's the favourite. Yes, he is the defending champion. But you put it in Google Maps, and this horse from Forbes last Friday night has travelled a minimum of 11 hours, whether it be by float or by plane, to get here. He got in on Sunday night. Yes, he might look right down the stables there, but goodness me, when you crunch those numbers, it would be an Herculean task for him to face.
Absolutely, it is for him today, and one of the horses he'll be facing is with Mark Cookson.
This guy's going to have a lot to say about the Australians coming and trying to take the IRT New Zealand Cup, a dual derby winner in Merlin. He's had an outstanding open class season. As the carts are about to be applied, he's got a bit of an attitude. He bit me yesterday while filming the preview show. He's going to have a bit to say about the Aussies coming to take our cup. Will be driven in the very famous colours by Zachary Butcher, who's come so close in a New Zealand Cup before. Can today be the day that Zachary can do it? We're not too far from finding out. Drawn next door, Mark Shard, a grand campaigner, had a fantastic autumn stablemate as well. And just further round, we have Don't Stop Dreaming, who had so many jewels with Merlin last season as 3-year-olds, and they're both stepping up here. Don't Stop Dreaming is well and truly in the market. But Adam Hamilton, the Aussies are back again in force.
Certainly are, Mark, and I'm standing in front of not only harness racing royalty in Swayzee, the defending champion from Australia, but some of the hottest harness talent from Australia as well. Denny Roberts won a Group 1 at Gloucester Park last Friday night. The WA Pacing Cup, Jack Callaghan's there, Cam Hart, who drives Swayzee, Jason Grimson, of course, and Will Rickson. This is harness racing royalty surrounding Australia's defending champion in this race, Swayzee. Now, what a challenge. We've talked about everything that he's been through to get here, but in the words of Jason, and we'll try and grab a quick word with him in just a moment, he's handled this trip, albeit very rushed, so much better than he did 12 months ago when he won the Cup. It speaks volumes for this guy. Look at him, he just looks so relaxed. We might just move in here and just see whether we can get the very last word from Jason. He's got the gear on, he's got the battle gear on, he's just about set to go round. Jason, just quickly, the very last word on him, almost game time.
Almost game time, mate. He's ready to roll.
Beautiful. We'll leave it at that. He can't add any more, can he? That's Swayzee for you. An incredible horse. And the history of Australians in this race is so difficult. Only 2 of them since 1987, My Lightning Blue, have been able to come over and win it. Swayzee's not only trying to go back-to-back, but he's trying to beat history again.
Standing here right in front of the Dream Team Marketplace on my right. Gee, he knows he's good. He's wanting to go out there again. He was wanting to give me a nibble just a moment ago, but look, he's giving the talk to his stablemate Mo'unga, who we see next to us, about to go out for Regan Todd. Of course, very impressive winner of the Group 2 Kaikoura Cup last time out. He's pretty relaxed. He's ready to go. You can see Regan behind us. He's relaxed, aren't you, Regan? You're ready to go. And as too is Robbie Close. Good luck to the team with Mo'unga, looking for New Zealand Cup success.
Yeah, and of course, strapping him today is Cam Kirkwood, who works for Harness Racing New Zealand. Part owns this horse, is a great mate of Regan Todd, so a very special moment for them winning at Kaikoura last week to get into this race. And he could be the first to the markers here because he can hit his straps very quickly, well, alongside Charlie Brown.
Well, he either hit or miss, Mo'unga. When he hits really quickly. He did that at Kaikoura, Greg. I've mapped him to be probably one of 2 or 3 horses, along with Charlie Brown, and out wide, American Me, also a very good beginner, but he'll get his chance to get to the market picks. I don't think he wants to lead over 2 whiles, Mo'unga.
Mo'unga's a horse you haven't seen a lot of, Ryan, but you would have seen him win at Kaikoura. He didn't just win, he bolted it.
He did, and I've spoken to a lot of smart judges that are saying he is the one that to look for as far as the lead is concerned. Let me throw in another equation here. We've got a rotor for the Dixon camp. Now, this horse has won under standing start conditions in the Redcliffe Cup was absolutely brilliant away there. I did speak to Grant Dixon, and whilst he does believe that he's a terrific standing start beginner, I think we've been caught out, us Aussies, a couple of times with your standing starts here. They're just a little bit different to ours when they're called up. They almost seem to balk before they let them go. It caught out Greg Sugars with better eclipse at Kaikoura. That's the only concern that I have with the rotor in actually putting himself into the fray as far as the leading division is concerned.
It's because you Aussies can sometimes be a little bit cunning and you're trying to get a bit of a running start. That's what might have caught Gregory out, but we'll leave that there for now. But I think a rotor's a genuine top 6 sort of a chance, and what an opportunity for Tristan Dixon to have a chance to drive this horse. Bred here by the Renwicks, who sponsored the Big Dominion today, and I know this horse has come a very long way. He's won 150,000 this year, and of course he ran 3rd at Group 1 level in the Rising Sun when I was over there.
And he's surprised a lot of people this season, Greg, myself included. He was an outsider when he won that Redcliffe Cup that I mentioned. He was a lowly rated horse in that particular race, but his manners came to the fore, and since then he's just delivered on a consistent level. But just on Grant and Trista, good on them for being here on New Zealand Cup Day. It would have been very easy to say, look, okay, well, we're not coming with the Star Leap to Fame, so let's maybe not make the trip, but they were always coming with the rotor, and you've got to respect that decision, not just for the connections, but their belief in this horse that he can run a good race today.
Yeah, absolutely. They brought the boys with them as well, and Jai Thomas are here, and they're looking forward to being a part of the future of harness racing as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And young Cooper is also looking forward to being part of it, albeit he's only 4 at this stage. All right, there is Republican Party. Carter Dalgetty gets another opportunity in the great race. He won a terrific race in this last year, trained by Cran and Chrissy Dalgetty, and just his 3rd drive in the race. Here's runner number 1, Tack McLeod. Samantha Otley, having driven Forgotten Highway and Kango previously in the Cup, driving for Trevor Proctor. This horse has been based at Mark Jones for quite some time and has done a magic job. He's won 3 of his last 5 and surged his way in by winning the Canterbury Classic.
Well, he's won 4 of his last 6, Gregory, and I think the barrier 1's probably the only nemesis about him. He's a good beginner, but he's not a quick beginner, and the inside draw is not ideal for him. He deserves his chance in the Cup. He's been very good. Winning that Canterbury Classic, that was no fluke. He's an up-and-comer.
Well, Izzy, just tell us what happened there.
Well, it's sunny, and some may say Lennox Lewis is here when Sonny Lewis just steams down the outside, and Blair Orange got the result at, what, $14? And I didn't know you had it, because let's be honest, I'm worried about my own horse, and you start erupting, and then all of a sudden you've got 260 in your account for St. John.
I certainly do. $20 bonus cash, baby, right on Blair Orange, and that means I have the lead. But we've got the New Zealand Cup up next, guaranteed $200,000 first 4. What are we doing?
And that's where I'm going. Look, let's be honest, I've gone an easy bet. I need help. So I've got creative on it, little easy bet to try and get a first 4, and then I've got another first 4 that'll be on the screen at home. I need some help, and let's be honest, I'm probably going to swing for the sky right now.
There you go, and I've got a first 4 as well. I'm going the 3 favourites, 1, 2, 3. A couple of others in there for 2nd and 3rd, the other favourite, the other Australian, I should say, and then a handful of them there for 4th. Don't forget as well, of course, R18, bet responsibly. Let's go the Cup. Come on, baby.
Head-to-head in the first 4s. Don't forget it's guaranteed at $200,000 as the runners are announced out onto the track for the $1 million IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup. Tack McLeod, the winner of 8 of 20, starts from position number 1.
Well, he's a good horse, Greg. As I said, he's won the Canterbury Classic. He's an up-and-comer. He may be 12 months away from his absolute peak fitness. His only start number 21 from today, but he's won nearly half of his stances. Really good story with Sam Otley, Trevor Proctor and Mark Jones. This horse has come a long way in a very short time. He's a top 4 chance.
Absolutely is. 2 in the book is a Rhoda, trained by Grant and Trista Dixon. Trista doing the steering. They obviously had the disappointment of not being here with their best horse, Leap to Fame, but he was always coming regardless. He could have started in the junior free-for-all, and part owner, Greg Mitchell, who's a big part of Albion Park, the chairman there, suggested to me jokingly about a week ago I might get Grant to scratch and get my horse a start. He was joking, mind you, but that's exactly what's unfolded.
Yeah, great to see him here, Greg. I wouldn't have thought that he would have been the class of horse to come from Australia that could win a New Zealand Cup, but I just respect Grant Dixon and Trista Dixon so much with the way they prepare their horses. They're not wasting their time, and hey, if it's good enough for Izzy Dag throwing it into the first four, that gives me a little bit of confidence.
Well, his older brother in second this race last year at Cooter, so he is well bred. He just has to lift a length or two.
There is John Dunn. He drives Charlie Brown, the perennial place getter, the winner of the Winter Championship, the Country Cups Championship, of course. He's a very good standing start exponent. He's a first four player if he can get himself in on the markers.
Well, he's a really real professional, isn't he, Greg? He's 2 from 2 at 3,200 metres. He can stay, but he needs the right trip. I think John will be looking to get him off probably 3 back, trailing at best. If he can get that type of run, he can run top 4.
All right, Better's Delight out of Oh Baby, Mwanga in race number 11. We've already seen that breeding to the 4, of course, with Treacherous Baby, the half to it, taking out the fillies final.
He's only ever one go at 3,200 metres, and that was in the Country Cups final. He's a better horse now than he was there, Greg. He was brilliant winning the Alan Gibson. He was brilliant winning the Kaikoura Cup. He is a speed horse. I don't see him leading over 3,200 metres, but he's a great follower.
Ryan, don't stop dreaming. You got to see in the Hunter Cup running second behind Leap to Fame in a staggering performance from a young horse at that stage. He hasn't quite gone on with it from there, but you know Mark and Nathan Purdon will have him primed for today.
Absolutely. It was a terrific run in that race you mentioned, the Hunter Cup. He's also run second to Better Eclipse in a terrific race at Melton as well. Obviously, All Stars, Blair Orange, there's a lot of ticks there. I like the way this horse has furnished as he's got a little bit older. Has he furnished as well as Merlin? That's been my measuring stick. I'm saying no, that's why I've got him just a tick behind Merlin.
Yeah, and I spoke to Mark Purdon about that, and he said Barry's horses developed a lot more than his, and that might be the difference today. Let's go to American Me, 4th in the race last year. Well, Gerard O'Reilly had a drive in this race, would you believe, on Anne Franco, his first back in 1997. He's had 5 since.
Yeah, of course he won the Roy Purdon when he came to Auckland, Greg. He's a horse that kind of hasn't been firing in his last few starts. He was better last start. He's got great standing start manners. $71, probably a true reflection.
This great horse, Better Eclipse, the winner of this year's Auckland Cup, multiple Group 1 winner he is. He's got to be accorded a good chance here, Ryan.
Well, he's a 3-time Group 1 winner, and if we're keeping score with the favourite, well, Swayzee's a 3-time Group 1 winner, and so is this bloke, Better Eclipse. Greg happily calls him an opportunist. He will need luck in this from the start, and he'll be driven for luck in the race.
Top tip for you is Merlin. He's a bull. He's by Art Major. He's an entire. He's raced by Dean Shannon's Montana Park. Barry Purdon, Scott Phelan, Zachary Butcher having his 10th drive in the race.
I like horses that are set for the race 4th up. This is his 4th run in the Cup. He's come back really well. Holmes DG Spring Cup, Ashburton Flying Stakes. Outstanding last half in the Ashburton Flying Stakes, Greg. 53.6, and he smashed the line. He's a great follower. I think Zachary will step in from the same draw that he had in the Ashburton Flying Stakes. Look to get near the speed, if not in front, and then hand to the right one. He's a speed horse with a right run. Clearly top pick for me.
We've heard a lot about Franco Marek today, and so it should be told. The story of Greg Manson, who's only trained 22 winners in his entire career. He's got this horse into the New Zealand Cup. He's got a wide front row draw, as has Mark Shard. Scott Phelan gets another chance in this very good race. He drove the horse to finish 11th a few years ago. Republican Party, as we see Mark Shard, this remarkable horse, the winner of 20 of his starts and over $800,000. Republican Party, 5th last year. We saw him as he wandered out onto the track. He looked relaxed, the 5-year-old son of Better's Delight for Cran and Chrissy Dalgety. Carter does the steering. We move from him to Swayzee. Want to see how he warms up here. Ryan, you've driven race winners, many of them over 50 in your life. I want your assessment of how he's warming up, because to the eye, he looks magnificent. And
I asked that of Jason Grimson and Cam Hart, what do you want to see? And Cameron says, well, normally I have to jazz him up anyway. He's so relaxed. And that's probably the sort of horse you want to win a New Zealand Cup, particularly considering the travelling that he's come. What Cam did say he wants to see those ears moving around like they are, that he's alert, that he's looking around, that he understands the presence of this situation. That's what we're seeing with Swayzee now. What we've seen on the track, yes, he's a 3-time Group 1 winner, but I couldn't believe his win in the Victoria Cup. It was probably the best of his career, 151.8. That was 4/10 outside the track record. He's got better, so I think, since last year's New Zealand Cup.
Well, he's a horse that really impressed me last year, Greg, because I hadn't seen a lot of him, and I can go what I've seen on track. He looks like he's travelled really well. It's a big preparation to come from racing on Friday to race on Tuesday, and a massive trip in between. But he's a very good trainer, a very good driver, Cameron Hart, and he deserves to be favourite.
We've got Beach Bull and Dalton Shard both at long odds. Ricky May, 31 drives in this cracking race. Bob Butt drives Dalton Shard for Robert and Jenna Dunn, giving them a two-pronged attack, and Alta Meteor, Tim Williams, with his 9th drive in the race. We're about to pause for the national anthem of New Zealand as we build towards a start in the IRT New Zealand Cup.
God of nations, at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God, defend our free land. God, Pacific's triple star, from the shafts of strife and war, make her praises heard afar. God, defend New Zealand.
TAB market update for today's IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup off the back of that rousing rendition of the New Zealand national anthem. TAB Hot Horse will start at the top of the market. It is the 15 Swayzee. There's been so much confidence in this Australian champion who is looking to go back-to-back in our greatest race. $2.30 now. You could have got as long as $2.70 at the start of the day. That signifies a significant push for the favourite, Swayzee, $2.30. He carries twice as much money as the next best back runners, which are both Merlin and Don't Stop Dreaming, who have been very equally supported in all markets. Outside of them, we carry a $750,000 liability on Beach Bull, and the best backed horse in top 4, top 6, top 8 and the early crow market is Franco Marek. Looking forward to the big one. Your favourite and your TAB hot horse is the 15 Swayzee.
Well, Barry, you're looking to get another one in this race. It's a hard race to win, isn't it? Because it's such a prestigious race and it's such a competitive affair. Let's start with Merlin. Gee, it seems like his preparation has just been faultless.
Yeah, we've been lucky. He's everything we've asked, he's done, and we've had a good lead up into this race, you know, with Ashburton only a couple of weeks ago and a couple of races at Auckland. So, yeah, it's been pretty much uninterrupted.
And the confidence that we always talk about that Zachary has in him, obviously it's a race that he really wants, and it would be so deserving, wouldn't it, to get it as a partnership?
Well, we think so, but everyone else will be thinking the same. But anyway, look, he's in really good shape. He's really well. He had out on Saturday at home, and he was really strong in his work. So, yeah, really pleased with him.
In terms of the way the racing's been run today, we've seen a bit of headwind out there. He's the type of horse he's so versatile, isn't he, in the running?
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of, he's out wide, and you know, he's probably going to have to burn a bit early, and yeah, you just got to try and just get an economical run as you can, because they're all good, and running into that wind a couple of times, as you say, it seems to be pulling a couple of them up for sure. Yeah.
Mark Shard in the race, he can never be underestimated, this horse. He's a marvel, the age he is, but he's a credit to you and all the connections as well, because he's still at his peak, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's been racing pretty well, and yeah, he starts right from the outside, which is yeah, it's not going to be easy for him. But he comes into the race, he's really well and good. So, yeah, we're just hoping he can get the right run with him.
Go well.
Thanks, Nicole. Thank you.
Go well, Barry Purdon, along with Scott Phelan there with Mark Shard and Merlin. We wish them all the very best. They tried to hold out last year's winner, Swayzee. I thought it's a race where you could play some top sixes, potentially around 2 horses here, Franco Marek and Ultra Meteor. I reckon one of those two might run in the top 6 here. If Ultra Meteor had have drawn the front row, I'd be saying he's probably a top 4 chance. If he gets a nice cut through, they'll certainly know he's there at the finish here, gents, as we're about 70 seconds away.
Thanks, Matthew. Back to you very shortly. Swayzee 230, Merlin 360. There'll be no chance they'll go near the 353-1 with the wind, well, slightly dropping down. Of course, that title held by Lazarus, but we saw him run past on his own. Bit eerie, wasn't it? Swayzee just completing his preliminary, and he looked a happy horse.
I don't want that in the prelim. I want it after the race.
Well, your Australians have had a bit of fun here already. Is he the clear top pick?
Oh, look, I respect him. I just have to doubt the preparation in getting here, and that's not taking anything away from Jason Grimson. I just have a tremendous respect for Merlin, and I'm with the Kiwi.
10, 15, 5 and 7 for me, Greg. I think he's had an ideal preparation. I think he's a better horse now than he was in the Grins. That's back in April, so let's bring it on.
Don't Stop Dreaming, the third favourite at $4.80. A Blair Orange searching for his 4th win, trying to emulate what Todd Mitchell did through the late 90s and into the early 2000s. And Ricky May, of course, trying to win his 8th New Zealand Cup. Some of the great history around this race is about to be added to here. It is the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup of 2024, the 121st running. Here's Matthew Cross with his call.
We're about to get set. Thank you, Greg. For 2024, it's 2 countries, 15 of the best, and 3,200 metres to Group 1 IRT New Zealand Cup glory. The defending champion Swayzee starts from the 2nd row. Starter Ricky Donnelly brings them forward. Ready. Racing in the New Zealand Cup of 2024, and he's galloped for a few strides, Swayzee. He settles now, but he's in the back too. Mohunga got the start wrong, so did Tack McLeod. They're both in gallops. American Me, the first of them out, straight onto the scene, Merlin, and wider out Franco Marek around the outside, pressing on. So Merlin goes to 3rd, and Don't Stop Dreaming over to 4th. So a couple of the big guns, they're in the first forward to the first corner. 3 lengths away to Mark Shard, and Ultra Meteor made a flyer. He's 6th and 1 off, and 2 lengths behind those two, Charlie Brown. Outside of him is Better Eclipse, and tracking him is Beach Ball. He made the best start of this campaign. He's in the running line on the outside of Aroda. Swayzee follows Beach Ball on the outside of Dalton Shard, and then Mohunga. Well back is Tack McLeod, and then came Republican Party. Don't Stop Dreaming now presses on. So Don't Stop Dreaming leads Merlin. Coming down before us in the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup of 2024. It's the Kiwi Chargers 1 and 2 out of the straight. Franco Marek is racing 3rd in front of American Me, and without cover on the outside is Ultra Meteor. Here's Swayzee, Satellite 3 wide on the outside of Better Eclipse. Buried 5 back, and on the inside is Mark Shard. The big question here is, does Orange Hand? Next is Beach Bull from Aroda. There's an echo on the outside to Mohunga. Then came Republican Party, Dalton Shard, and 2 lengths away Tack McLeod. The answer was yes. Swayzee after 1 lap has now taken over. They're inside 2,000 metres. It's Swayzee out by 2 lengths. 2nd is Don't Stop Dreaming. 3rd is Merlin. The big guns there, 1, 2 and 3. Parked up on the outside, Ultra Meteor on the outer of Franco Marek. In the 1-1, Better Eclipse from American Me and Beach Ball. Mark Shard races with Mohunga. Next up on the outside is Republican Party from, on the inside, Charlie Brown. There's 1 away to Tack McLeod, and then the Queenslander Aroda, and 1.5 lengths away last is Dalton Shard. He's getting it easy up front now, Swayzee. He comes around the corner, the first half of the cup running 159.5. In the trail, 2nd is Don't Stop Dreaming. 3rd on the inside is Merlin. Parked up and doing all of the work here as they come to the 1,300 metres is Ultra Meteor. Better Eclipse is getting a gorgeous run in the 1-1 on the outside of Franco Marek. Then came Beach Ball. American Me is a touch off midfield along the inside of Mohunga. Mark Shard next underneath of Republican Party from Charlie Brown. Well back Tack McLeod, a Rhoda, and outside of him is Dalton Shard. Swayzee 1,050 to go. Ran the opening quarter in 31.2. In the trailers, Don't Stop Dreaming from Ultra Meteor. Then came Merlin. Are the Kiwis speedy enough to wear down the Australian Star? A half a length away then to Better Eclipse from Franco Marek. They're followed by Beach Ball, American Me and Mohunga. Well back Republican Party with some work to do. Then came Mark Shard. Next is Tack McLeod and then Charlie Brown, Dalton Shard and a Rhoda. It is Swayzee 650 to go and he's up the ante. Second quarter 30 and 6, 61.8 for the half. Second in the trail, Don't Stop Dreaming. Outside of him is Ultra Meteor. Then came Merlin from Better Eclipse and then Franco Marek from Beach Ball coming wide Republican Party, but Swayzee now driven up. Don't Stop Dreaming travels beautifully right and behind. Then came Merlin. Third quarter was 26.7. Swayzee, the gloves are off. Next is Don't Stop Dreaming. Merlin now into the clear. Better Eclipse is running on wider. Swayzee, he's a neck in front, but little Don't Stop Dreaming is going to him. Don't Stop Dreaming the inside, put his nose in front. Swayzee's trying to fight back. He's off the canvas, the Aussie champ. He's done it again. Swayzee, enormous. Beats home Don't Stop Dreaming. Third across either Merlin or Republican Party. Then came Franco Marek and Mohunga. Next in Beach Ball, a Rhoda. Tack McLeod, Charlie Brown. Then came Better Eclipse, Ultra Meteor. American Me, Mark Shard. And Dalton Shard. We've just watched a story unfold right before our eyes. The adventures of Swayzee. And this, the most thrilling chapter of them all. He was headed halfway down by Don't Stop Dreaming and he's fought back. He's defied logic, he's defied all of the rules in the lead up to the Cup. And Cameron Hart and Jason Grimson have pulled off the unthinkable. 5 is second, Don't Stop Dreaming. Republican Party is third, number 14. Merlin runs fourth, number 10. But once again, the IRT New Zealand Trotting Cup is going offshore to Australia. 28.9 the last quarter. The last mile in 1:57.4 for the second year in a row. Your New Zealand Cup champion is Swayzee.
He's done it again. He becomes the 18th multiple winner of this great race. A week ago, just over that, he wasn't even starting in the race. He's delivered a sublime performance here after being slow away. He missed away, he worked around, took the lead at exactly the same spot he did last year, and he had a very good horse sitting on his tail. He had 2 of them. Merlin was 3 back on the fence. Don't Stop Dreaming had got to him. He was going to win the race, and Swayzee has come back for Cameron Hart and defied him right on the line.
Unbelievable performance, Gregory, because at the 400-metre mark, he was driven out. He was under pressure. He had Don't Stop Dreaming on his back. Merlin 3 back on the inside. And when Blair put half a length on him at the 200-metre mark, I thought he's home here. But this bloke, he's lifted off the canvas. He was down and out, but he's such a great start. It's one thing to get to him. It's another thing to get past him. He goes back-to-back in the Cups. New Zealand runs second, third and fourth.
3:57 the winner's time, and a salute again from Cameron Hart, who grabs his second Group 1 in this race and his 12th in his career. He's now with Ryan Phelan.
Well, it's an Aussie Group 1 double. I know you, Jason Grimson, are rule breakers, but that was really rock and roll.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I just love this horse. He always puts in for me, and, you know, when Don't Stop Dreaming come at me, he just dug in and he was pulling away again on the line. He's just an incredible horse.
It was off the canvas.
He certainly was, and I think he's just waiting for something to race, and I've always had full confidence in this horse. Whenever he gets in the dogfight, he always, you know, puts in for me.
Take us through the start. He skipped a little bit, but you were patient with him. What were you thinking when you saw Don't Stop Dreaming and Merlin ahead of you in the lead?
I was a little bit worried. They did a fair bit of work, you know, sorting themselves out, but I was just wanting to get away safe today, and I knew he was good enough to be put in the race whenever I chose to, and yeah, it's a little worrying having two horses like that on the fence behind you, but no, I've always had full confidence in this horse that he runs out a strong 2 mile.
So it was a 61.8 first half. You must have felt good there, but you knew you had them right on your hammer. Did you think you had the speed to hold them out?
I thought so. It was, you know, once Don't Stop Dreaming come to the inside, I could feel him pick up with him, and on the line, he was super strong.
How does this feel, second time around?
Unbelievable. You know, I couldn't believe we could win it last year, but to come back and go back to back, it's just unbelievable, and especially with the week or two that we've had, not expecting to be here with him. Yeah, just glad that Jace paid up that late non-fee.
Okay, well, we'll try find Jason Grimson. He was around here somewhere, guys. We might hand it back to you for now. I'll try find Jason, and we'll come back and chat to the rock and roll. In fact, I've got him down here. I've located Jason Grimson. You're a rule breaker, mate. That was breaking the rules of harness racing. How does that feel now that you got it right and he got it right?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong in this game. That just goes to show, you know, you can win a Young Cup on Friday and come in, win a New Zealand Cup.
You have so much belief in this horse. You know this horse. You know his demeanour. How does it feel to go back to back?
I'm just glad I didn't look silly, honestly. Yeah, it's super to go back to back. I do. When I rang Bitsy on Monday, he was in the right headspace, and yeah, he was awesome today. You know, to fly back like that up the straight in the wind, it was pretty awesome.
Mick Boots, I know you're a man of few words. Mick, come on in. This is your first New Zealand Cup that you've been to. You won it last year back to back. How does this feel?
Yeah, unbelievable. I wasn't expecting anything, you know, with his trip and that, but Jason obviously knows what he's doing, and he just kept fighting on. He's just tough, just pure tough, like, you know.
Take us through that conversation when you decided to pay $28,000 to make a late entry fee to come here to New Zealand, and then what would unfold after that?
Well, we didn't sort of really know. We weren't expecting what he actually would do, but Jason had confidence the whole time, and I was worried about him having the run on the Friday and then travelling back to Sydney and then flying out here with the flight too. I just personally thought it'd take too much out of him, but yeah, no, it hasn't. So
for a boy from Leeton, in front of a big crowd like this, to enjoy a moment like this, Mick, you put so much into the sport of harness race through ownership. Just explain how this feels.
Oh, unbelievable, and everybody back home's behind us, so it's, you know, good for a small country town to have something to chase, you know. So, no.
Congratulations, that was a win for the ages.
No worries, thanks very much. Thank you.
Going back to back, the horse that got closest to him was Don't Stop Dreaming, and Mark Cookson's with Blair Orange.
Well, Blair, little Don't Stop Dreaming, he's gone huge.
Yeah, he has, Mark. He, you know, he's lovely manners early and put himself in the race and followed the right one. And, you know, I believe I just put my little nose in front there for a short time, but full credit to Swayzee. He fought back and got us.
How did he feel out there today?
Yeah, it's just a cool wee dude, you know. He's lovely and relaxed in the warm-up and travelled really nicely, and he's just one of those little true professionals, you know, like ask him to travel on the bin and he does, and he just tried his heart out. So, yeah, very happy with him.
Very good for a horse who's come into this year's Cup preparation with only 2 race day runs.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, it just shows what a great trainers Mark and Nathan are, and, you know, to have him a neck away or whatever the result was, you know, pretty happy with that, and, you know, they should be proud of the way he ran.
He really took the fight to them. Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, Carter, what a thrill. Third in a New Zealand Cup. Geez, a horse that just keeps giving for you, doesn't he?
Yeah, huge thrill. He's just amazing. We're so far back and had to take my chance and go when we were really humming, but geez, he savaged the line.
You took us through the run because you were a long way back, weren't you, in a bit of a tricky position there for a while?
Yeah, the draw was probably no help, but that's fine. We got through, and as soon as Swayzee got the top, I knew we probably weren't going to be able to make a move, so when he come late, yeah, he done his best work.
Special horse, and as I say, to come back from America and get third in the New Zealand Cup, pretty exciting, isn't it?
Oh, huge, yeah. Just to be driving in the race is unbelievable, let alone running and placing, so yeah, I got the horse to thank.
Great work.
Thank you.
Excellent performance from Republican Party. On the face value of it, Craig, Merlin had his opportunity.
Oh, he did. He was 3 back on the inside. I thought he was beautifully handled by Zachary Butch. He did nothing wrong. We pick up the last lap here, Greg. But hey, let's talk about the winner, Swayzee. I mean, he's worked into that wind after being slow away. So not only did he give tactical advantage away, he probably gave an extra 10 to 20 metres away at the start, Greg. He worked mid-stages. Blair handed to him on a 61.8 middle half. So he got there relatively cheaply, and you can see him, he was travelling nicely at the time. Back on the inside, Don't Stop Dreaming. 3 back on the inside is Merlin. Now, they're both waiting here because Cameron Hart, I thought maybe he might ease the pressure, but he's such a good stayer, he just kept rolling.
He had to do that, though, with the wind behind him down the back straight. And right about here, he's upping the ante. Little Don't Stop Dreaming. He's only a small horse. He hasn't quite developed into what they may have hoped of. So Blair was holding him up for as long as he possibly could. And about this point is when Swayzee starts to press the accelerator. Way back in the field is Republican Party. He only had about 5 behind him. He's staged a huge run coming wide on the track, storming home. Merlin's 3 back on the fence here. Zachary's about to pull him to the outside. Blair waiting as long as he could, thought, right, I'm going to sniper you now. He gets there and he actually gets in front. It looked like he was going to put half a length on him, but Swayzee's put his neck out, tried extremely hard, and regardless of the travel that he's had to endure over the last few days, he's got to the line and he has won his 2nd New Zealand Cup. He's an absolute gun, is Cameron Hart. That is career win number 12 at the Group 1 level. Here was the start, though, and he didn't pace away cleanly. He didn't lose a lot of ground, but he lost a little bit of tactical advantage, and he finished, or started, further back than where he had to make his run from last year. He still hit the lead at the same time, though, and once he got there, myself, you, and Ryan Phelan went, now it's going to be hard for them to catch him.
Well, that's right. I mean, he got round at the right time, Greg, but as you said, he probably lost 2 or 3 lengths at the start, and he probably lost 2 or 3 horses that he wanted to be in front of. Last year, he poked through the middle so quickly on. He was round to the front at the same time, but he didn't have to pass so many. This was a better field, Greg. I think this was a better performance in winning this year's New Zealand Cups, because Don't Stop Dreaming and Merlin, they're our superstars of the future.
He's just a powerhouse staying horse, and he produced that again today. I'm not convinced what Jason Grimson said earlier, that he's just as good coming off a helmet, but that doesn't matter because he has produced a performance to win another New Zealand Cup, go into that history books of only 17 others, multiple winners of the race. And, well, Glenn Boss said he might come back and watch him win 3 like he did on Mackay Diva. If he keeps racing at this level, I think he might be right.
Well, I think he's got other things to think about as well, Greg, because he's still in line for that $1 million bonus. So he's got his win on Friday night. He's got his New Zealand Cup win. He now heads to Australia to chase $1 million. There's a lot happening in the next month.
Yeah, certainly. He's got the Inter Dominion if he goes through that series. But I think, Adam Hamilton, as you join us, that $1 million carrot of the Sydney Country Cup's 5 races he's got to win. He's already won 2. He gets $250,000 if he wins the next one. But we'll leave that for now and talk about this performance here today. A sublime staying performance.
Yeah, just an almighty staying performance, wasn't it? I watched the race with Glenn Boss, who's added so much by being here, and he said to Grimo after the race, now you got to come back next year. I did it 3 times, see if you can do it 3 times. So Melbourne Cup to New Zealand Cup, but incredible performance. So Cam Hart saying the horse felt better than last year in the run. He said he was really just loafing until Don't Stop Dreaming got alongside of him, and then he just, as Swayzee does, he really wanted to race Don't Stop Dreaming. And a little bit like last year, although the margin wasn't as big, he was drawing away again at the finish.
Yeah, Don't Stop Dreaming definitely got past him. There's no question about that at all. But he just outstays his rivals and continues to run those sectionals. And today it was difficult because that wind's blimmin' strong. Well, and he had to cop it more than once.
Well, so he had to scorch down the back straight to take the speed out of the dangers, and then after that he had to put his chest out and run into the strong wind all the way home when the dangers were coming at him. But yeah, he's a mighty stayer, isn't he? He's a stayer of the Blossom Lady luxury liner sort of horse, isn't he? He's a yesteryear type pacer.
Yes, he is, absolutely is, and he becomes the first Australian to win back-to-back cups, which I'm sure won't be lost on your friends across the Tasman.
It's an enormous achievement. I mean, this race is so precious to all of you, but it's a race that the Australians have loved to watch and occasionally, very occasionally, win. but to go back-to-back, I mean, let's also pause and have a look at the body of work of Jason Grimson in 2 years where he's really been known in the sport. A couple of Inter-Dominions, 2 New Zealand Cups.
Blacks are fake.
Blacks are fake, absolutely. He's won, he won a Messenger or something, I think, as well. And
with Majestic Cruiser?
Yeah, second in a race by Grins, I think. I mean, his body of work has been utterly incredible.
Well, he's been here 3
Victoria
times.
Cup, I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Just a lazy Victoria Cup.
Yeah, just one of those. But he's been here 3 times for this great race, Majestic Cruiser, and now twice with this horse. So he knows what it takes to win it. Where does he sit? I mean, where does he sit amongst the great Australian trainers? Because he hasn't been there for so long, and I guess longevity will determine where he does sit.
So he's having, and people ask me this question a lot, he's having an impact that in my time I've only seen one trainer ever have before, and that's Vinnie Knight, the late Vinnie Knight. Someone who can just really just dominate the sport and in the most incredible ways. And his ability, I mean, let's not forget that basically every horse Jason's had, he's got from another stable, and he's improved it by the length of Australia to New Zealand.
Let's move from Jason Grimson to this gun driver, Cam Hart. He is a rare talent.
Incredible talent, young guy. I mean, you know, I know a little bit's been said about it, but they grew up not that far away from each other in the Riverina, which not so much now, but historically has been a rich harness racing region, like the Paleface Adioses and great horses that have come from there. Mark's father is the track manager at the Wagga Thoroughbreds. He said there was a little moment in his life, because he goes around about 58 kilos at the moment, same weight as Glenn Voss is at the moment. So, but he said there was a little phase in my life where I thought jockey driver, but he said I grew up in harness racing. I love harness racing, and you know what he's achieved as well. I mean, they're just a perfect team, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a great example of a trainer who says, I've done my part, you now go and do your part.
Yeah, and he did that with great aplomb
Just
today.
a little bit of news, no Inter-Dominion for Swayzee.
All right, and I would be surprised if he backs up on Friday.
He's not going round Friday.
Yep.
He's going when he can get home, he's going for a spell, and that's straight from Jason.
Yeah, and the next of those Country Cup races
not till January.
About 17th of January,
That's
somewhere
right.
around there.
Yep.
So
he can have a little break and go for that, and then he's got the finish of that series. You would think he would probably take in a Hunter Cup as well if that fits the schedule in early February.
Yeah. Any other runs out of the race that you wanted to?
Well, I thought Republican Party was good in defeat. I mean, to make the ground that he did when you got the 3 superstars in front of you, any horse to make up 5 lengths on them, and still only lightly raced in his career, Greg, after running 5th last year. I thought his run was certainly of merit.